I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and we need help.
Each week we stumble through a new book, method, or concept that brings us one step closer to being our best self.
Yes, we make fun of ourselves.
And others.
But mostly just ourselves. So here's to not taking self-help quite so seriously.
Welcome to We Need Help. I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy. And on today's episode, we need coaching. Because sometimes your friends are just tired of hearing about it. For the 8,000th time. Can I pay somebody to listen to me, please?
So it is nice, and that also your friends sometimes won't be like, you need to stop your victim bullshit.
Yeah. So some of the good ones will. You would.
Oh, I will. Yeah.
But most people will be like, yeah, fuck him.
It's like you're the psychotic.
That's it. Like you're being psychotic, and they'll be like, fuck him.
My friend Mo, hopefully she does. Actually, hopefully she listens to this. She used to take a perfectly normal man and destroy him in the matter of months. I'm like,
Ow.
what?
How would she do it?
I don't know. It's still, but I mean, I
Mystery.
called her out. I'm like, well, how do you keep taking these perfectly normal men and just whittling them down to psychos in the matter of it was wild.
That's so cool. That's her
Yeah.
superpower. That's
I
great.
know it was her superpower. It still is, I'm sure. I haven't seen her husband pretty much since their wedding. So
She doesn't allow him to leave the house.
I'm guessing he's not doing well. I love you, Mo.
Love you. I love you so much. I don't know you, Mo, but I love you.
Love you, Mo.
Oh, yeah. So we need coaching, and I don't know if you know the difference between I'm a coach, so that's why we need coaching. I need more clients.
Well, and okay, so why are we doing this?
We're doing this because I recently have engaged the services of coach to kind of get more clarity. Because what I realized is in my relationship, I was what is called self-abandoning. So I
Ooh.
was not. Um, I kind of put my needs on a back shelf and was focusing on the needs of my partner. So that's something that I realized it's called self-abandonment. And I know why I do it. This is why I didn't want to do therapy because I'm like, I know why I do it. I know where it comes from. I know what mommy and daddy did. Right?
Yeah, they
Like,
fucked you.
yeah, they did.
They got you good.
I mean, they also gave me wonderful things. Like, I can't think of them right now, but I'm sure there's plenty.
Your humor, for one.
Yeah, humor, that's it. But a coach basically helps you have a goal, and a coach will help you achieve that goal. So they don't really focus on past trauma and why things happened and helping you work through that. They basically help you achieve the goal, and they do what is called holding space. So they give you the space to sort of process yourself and what you want and what you need. And I think I decided that I wanted to work with a coach because when I stopped abandoning myself, suddenly I'm like, what are my needs? I don't even know what they are because I've been ignoring my needs for so long, so many years that I don't know what they are anymore. So
Okay.
I have decided to engage with a coach to see what those are. So, yeah.
So therapy would be more for deciding why it happened and working through it, and coaching would be more action oriented, how to shed it, and or even fake it until you make it, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, or even like, okay, Isabella, like, what's your goal? Like, okay, my goal is to like get to know my needs. Okay, well, let's come up with a strategy to do that, to achieve that goal, right? It's therapy, a lot of it's like relationship based. Like, so there's lots of different therapies, right? But I like this
Tons.
because it's more like future focused. It's action driven, it's action specific. So every week we like come up with actions that I can take. We talk about them. It's just a lot more like action and action driven, more than like reflection driven, which I tend to prefer.
Okay, so how did you pick your coach?
Um, I Googled my symptoms. I let chat do it. I let my boyfriend chat do it. I,
Okay, so
so
but
I
I mean if
Googled, I put all my symptoms in chat, and then I said, find the best person in Poland, um, for me to achieve this goal. And chat gave me a Polish person, but she's in Belgium.
okay.
But she does online because I said specifically if it's somebody really good, I'm like happy to do online. So we meet online. Yeah. So
Okay, so what were your symptoms? You wanted to be able to meet your own, find your own needs?
I put in like, okay, so I've been self-abandoning. I've been ignoring this. This is how I've been acting in this past relationship. This is what I've been doing. I need a coach to help me work through all of this, right? And then it came up with this lady. Like it spit out like three different profiles, and I went on each of their profiles. And
Stalked them.
yeah, and I specifically said that I don't want to be repeating this in my relationships. Like I don't want to be repeating this pattern of abandoning myself because
Right.
guess what? We take baggage from relationship to relationship, and if unless we address it and work on it and figure out how to not carry like that stuff, it's just going to keep showing up. So that was the one thing. I'm like, I do not want to self-abandon anymore.
Well, when you're in a breakup, it is a prime time to say, okay, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
And then try to, that takes immense uh reflection to just ask it because it's very easy just to break up with somebody and say, okay, they're fucking selfish, they're this, they're that, they're this. And I had nothing to do with this relationship falling apart when each one of us in all of our relationships have something to do with it.
Yeah. And I know where the self-abandonment comes from. Like I know it because I've been to so many therapies. Like I just want tools to not do that anymore. And I want a specific way to not do that anymore. So that's number one. But then I also want to reconnect with my needs because I've been ignoring them for a long time. So there's sort of two things that I want to do here. But I know where they came from. Like they came from me sharing things when I was little and being constantly invalidated or punished even for the way I was feeling. Um,
Okay.
and so I learned to suppress my needs as a child, and then I carried that into adulthood, right?
Yeah. And it
So
was
I'm
still
very well
affecting you
aware of
every day.
that, but in order to be able to connect to my needs and not abandon them, I need to know what they are. And then I need some
Okay.
strategies on how not to do that, and that's what a coach will help with. So super interesting.
Okay. So you Googled based on what you're looking
Yeah.
for. So if I were looking, let's just say I want to focus on my health. I could do like a fitness coach or
Yeah.
a health. Okay. And then like for a business coach, we could go in and put in business coach and they could help us grow our podcast. Our
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Exactly. Like these are just people who come like very rarely. This is why I like coaching. Very rarely do we get the space to sit with another person who's objective.
Mm,
And because we can do it with our friends all day long. Right? But this is somebody who's objective and gives you the space to find what the best solution is for yourself. Right?
okay.
And the sort of premise of coaching is that the answers are within you, and a good coach will help you find those answers, right?
Right.
By asking the right questions for, we call it as coaches holding space for you. For really like a good coach is really intuitive, knows when to just work with silence, right? So it's really interesting. And then a good coach will come up with like a strategy to help you achieve what you want to achieve.
Yeah, I'm guessing that in the coaching world, they're like it's like the real estate world. They'll let anybody in,
Yeah.
but to find one that is really good is probably priceless. when it comes to like I have an energy coach. Like Candace
Mm,
is my energy coach. I go to her for everything that is like holding me back. I mean, it's not coaching, it's energy work. But like it's got to be the same. There's tons of healers out there that aren't actually healers.
yeah.
There's got to be tons of coaches that are kind of so
Yeah.
maybe getting a recommendation might be
Yeah. A
or
recommendation or you know, it's I think because it's coaching degrees are a dime a dozen.
yeah.
You can pay like 500 bucks or even less and just get like a coach. You can get certified as a certified coach, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So it's super, there's a coaching, what is it called? Like an association called
Yeah.
ICF, the International Coaching Federation. And if you go through them and get certified, then that's kind of like, they're an okay coach, but still like it's almost like doctors. Like there's shitty
Yeah.
doctors out there who've gone through medical school and they've gotten all their
Oh my
certificates.
God.
They're still shit
Yeah.
doctors. So I
Right.
think it's just about, yeah, recommendations or like finding somebody, because there's so many different coaching approaches and different types of
Yeah.
people. So it's almost like finding that person who matches you best. Yeah.
But once you, okay, so once you found one, you found that one that was
Yeah.
highly recommended, you found
Yeah.
one that was well suited to your needs,
Yeah.
you got on the call.
Got on the call and it's really interesting because I'm a coach myself. So I kind of like, I'm always interested in like, how are they going to do this? And the way she did this was she just like gave me the space to just like vomit, like just throw out everything that's been going on.
And you basically said, I've given up myself
Yeah.
completely.
I said, I've resigned for myself. I said, I don't even know what my needs are anymore. I said, I feel empty. I'm tired all the time. And I'm in this fear that I'm going to continue on with this pattern. Uh,
I can tell you 9 out of 10 of my friends are there.
yeah.
So I love that you're talking about this because I think it's a real big issue of this self thing that we tend to do, and it's an out of balance thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, you don't even notice it. It's just like small little denials of yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't notice it because I wasn't even aware. And I think this is why people say to like take pauses between relationships because to connect with yourself, which
Yeah.
I've never really done. I got sober and then 3 months later I was in a relationship. Like how much of
Yeah.
myself can I know in 3 months? Because I was numbing myself with drugs and alcohol for years. 3 months
Yeah.
isn't enough time. I didn't even know what to look for, right? And then I came in and there was little things
You
that
were probably just trying to like stay above water at that
yeah,
point. You're just swimming above water a little bit.
yeah. And there was like little, it happens gradually. It's like gaining weight. It doesn't happen all at once. You don't wake up overweight, you wake up one day and you're overweight. And that's self-abandonment. It's by these little death by a thousand paper cuts or whatever they call it.
Yeah,
Death
I
by
was going to say it really does start out with like I think that a lot of women get into a relationship, maybe they get pregnant, then they get married, or they get married and then they immediately get pregnant.
yeah.
And we throw ourselves on, the fire constantly, just little fires here and there. And like before you know it, like first we give up, you know, no, oh, you like this kind of coffee? That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll have that coffee. And then it just goes into like, oh, you'd rather buy that car? Okay. Well, I mean, I really don't care. I mean, I know I like this kind of car. It's just like little things that we think are compromises, but they actually end up and they end up being, just these little things. And I think that, once we have kids and or you start nurturing someone that needed it, like maybe it's you know, in your case, it was a lot to do with your partner was going through a lot of stuff. You
Yeah.
started nurturing and trying to hold him up and stuff like that. And I think that, I mean, once the partner is going through stuff, like getting into that nurturing as a woman and then getting out of it is really hard.
It's super hard to get out of it once you fall into that trap. Um, yeah, and I think sometimes also the issue is we're not even doing it consciously, like you mentioned about the coffee, like, oh, you like that kind of coffee? Like, that's fine. Sometimes we don't even know what our own needs are, and that's where it starts with,
Yeah.
and then we realize them later. And then we realize, like, oh my gosh, like I have a need. I didn't realize
Yeah.
this. And then something happens and that need just like comes up and you're like, oh my gosh, I have this need I wasn't even aware of.
Right.
So that's interesting. Yeah. So I think
So what did she tell you? What did it say? You said, okay,
what was,
listen.
yeah, I told her everything. And then what was really interesting was she reflected it back to me. So that was interesting because hearing yourself just reflected back. Um, she didn't
So
add anything. And I think that's what I like about coaching rather than therapy, because the therapist will put sometimes their spin on it, which sometimes you need, or
yeah.
their observation or what they think. But here, she just reflected, she wrote down everything I said and she just said it back to me. So I heard it differently. And then
Okay.
she just kept asking me, like, okay, well, what do you want out of this session? And it like becomes more clear what you want, right? And so, like, the main question is where, what does Isa really want? Who is Isa
Okay.
without a relationship? And those are the two questions that we sort of left with. And she had me, my task was to sort of meditate on that every morning and just write. She's like, just write, just
Okay.
ask yourself those questions every morning and just do writing.
So what
I
came
didn't
out?
do.
Oh, you didn't do it.
I'm such
What
a
a loser.
yeah, I know. I'm such a loser. I had to like I'm gonna do it, right? Or maybe we'll do that in this session. But I,
Oh
I
my God,
know
that's
I do my
so
own,
us.
but that's okay. I think that's another thing that's okay with coaching is that you can use the session as the space for that type of stuff, right?
I I think that says it all. You
Yeah.
know, sometimes the silence is like, is this
Oh, is it
nobody?
not, is
Okay.
there somebody who does not do any, is there somebody who procrastinates and doesn't do stuff? But I think that also kind of is reflective of something that's going on because I'm tired. Like I'm like I'm so tired and then you get caught up in other stuff and then you're too tired to focus on yourself. And I realized I did that this whole week. I was like working on this new job that I got and I was putting all this energy into again doing stuff for others and zero focus on myself. So that's something that will probably come up in our session today. And then that she'll probably ask, how can I make space during the day for me?
Okay. And like, what is stopping you? Because it's like, I mean, you're paying the coach.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
What do
Um,
you think? What do you think the biggest myth about coaching is? Like,
I don't know. I think what do you
I
think?
view it as like Tony Robbins, like
Oh,
you're in a room like with all these people, and it's I get nervous about coaching because I'm like, okay, I don't want anybody like coming down on me,
I think that's the
you
myth.
know?
I think the biggest myth is that people think a coach is going to come in there and tell you what to do and be like, "Rah,"
Yeah.
and like push you. But a coach is coaching like the way I understand it, because I guess you can get that type of coaching, but the way I've experienced coaching is more about almost like meditation with another human, like where they hold space for you, where they ask questions that really get into your soul, and it's a lot more gentle. It's not this like super.
This sounds like a lover. It sounds like a
It does
lover.
sound like a lover, I guess. Yeah. What do you like? What do you think? What has your coaching been with Candace like? Because it's a different type of coaching, but it's still coaching. Like, what are your sessions
It
like?
is, it's funny because like I believe that a coach, and all the coaches, I've had several coaches in my life, and like I act like I don't know anything about it, but when I've had a really good coach, they've asked me like what is my active part in whatever I'm dealing with,
Mm.
and like taking responsibility and getting in the driver's seat of your life, and really understanding that they'll kind of guide you into how you're projecting onto the situation, whatever the thing is holding you
Yeah.
back. For instance, let me give you just an example. I was having a real power struggle with Chuck Norris, my sister. Um, it was really a horrible time in our sisterhood,
Mm.
um, our sistership, and we were just really butting heads. And I had a session with Candace, and she said, "Tell me everything bad. Like, tell me everything that you feel about how Katie's acting."
Mm.
And I went through, she's controlling, she's judgmental, she's this, she's that, she's this, she's that. I can never do anything right. And of course, she said, "Okay, tell me how you're judging Katie. Tell me how you're trying to control Katie. Tell me how you're," yeah, it was
Good
like,
question. Yeah.
what can Katie do right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm judging her. I'm controlling her.
Yeah.
She's not doing anything right for me."
Yeah.
And it was like, it was stunning because I got to the point where it was like instant mind shift,
Yeah.
and I took responsibility for my actions, because the fact of the matter is, I have a friend that like, her husband loves sex,
Yeah.
and you know that's his love language. Hers is gifts. Okay. I'm like,
I don't want your dick in a box, okay? That
okay.
doesn't count.
But so if he doesn't get her gifts, he doesn't get, and I want to be like, okay, you could just give him what he wants and buy your own shit,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think a coach would tell her that, like a
Yeah.
coach would fucking say, you know, just buy your own shit that you want and be your own, like, you
Or
gotta,
they would ask the questions that, well, it depends on what you need. Like some people need that. Some people like a true coach will not, the less of the coach that there is, the better. Like they're just
okay.
truly there for you and for you to figure stuff out. And they don't want to influence you really in any way. But some people need to be influenced, so they want something else, right? So it just depends on,
Yeah. Or asking the questions like I would think what Candace would do in that. And she would try to write down all the bad things he does and
yeah,
then shift, and, because she's projecting and
yeah,
he's projecting onto her. It's just the
yeah,
way it is. Like
yeah,
I was projecting onto Katie so bad,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I will say, after my session with Candace, my sister and my relationship made a major shift towards being synchronized.
I love that. And that's
It
yeah,
was,
so you achieved your goal. I think coaching, what I love about it is it's quicker than therapy. And we are the duct tape of self-help. So like that's I think works for us. Like I can't do 1 or 2 years of therapy. I'm sorry, I just can.
just tell me what to do.
Yeah, I
I
just here's my goal. Like, let's get through it in 6 sessions and then be done, right? I
just
and
fucking,
a coaching relationship shouldn't, like, if you're achieving a specific goal, it shouldn't last more than 3 to 6 months. Like, that's just like a rule. Like, it's usually around 3 months. And then you can get like ad hoc, like you sometimes have an issue, so you call Candace. And that's
Absolutely.
coach can be for issues, like just on the phone, a quick issue, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, rather than, I
She
mean, I
likes when I say that to her too.
can't, I can't imagine going through like a year or two of therapy to get like, no, no.
Okay, when is therapy? When do you do therapy instead of coaching? Like, because for me, it's like, okay, when you're having severe anxiety or depression and you can't immediately just say what's the goal, but
Yeah.
you're just fucking floundering, maybe therapy is the right
Yeah, and
thing.
I think therapy is for people who are have like severe emotional or mental issues, right? Where they,
Yeah.
you know, where a professional is needed that has gone through psychiatric school and et cetera, right?
I took therapy in that time when I was just, and I've taken it several times, but when I was in that time, I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, but I just felt horrible.
Uh, yeah,
And that therapist really helped me with that.
yeah, yeah.
And he did say it was not me.
Yeah, coaching, like, I mean, you might have gotten there with coaching, but you know, coaching is, I think definitely for people who have like a specific goal in mind and they want to achieve it.
Right.
Yeah. And
Okay.
yeah, that's coaching. And then therapy is more like I have some like underlying issues. I'm not sure what they are. You know, we need a professional here.
So those are just the two questions. So for being this codependent person that you are, and this what is it called?
Self-abandonment.
Self-abandonment. So now you have to do some self-reflection,
Yeah.
meditating.
Yeah.
What else are
I'm
you
not
going to have
sure.
to
I
do?
just had one session. So far, that's the only homework. So we'll see what will
Okay.
be revealed in today's session. Right.
I love it.
But I think, yeah, my goal is just to reconnect with my needs and come up with a strategy not to lose myself when I get into relationships with people.
Yeah, I would like to know, and maybe we could do a thing on this is like, okay, how to not let that happen in a relationship.
You know what? I'm happy to, after I have my 6 sessions, I'm happy
Yeah,
to to share what I
let's
learned.
let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's because we need help with that. I
We
know
do.
we do.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Well, I love
I love
you.
you
I'm so
too.
glad you're getting coached.
I gotta put me in, coach.
Coach getting coached. All right, baby. I'll see you next
See you next
Tuesday.
day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining us this week on We Need Help, the podcast.
Make sure to like, subscribe, like again our YouTube channel, our Instagram, follow us wherever you can. It really, really helps us out and ensures that you won't miss any future episodes. So, yep, thanks to you, we can keep going.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.